Last time on Square Roots, Act 3 of the game is a total drag as we cringe our way through the cultural festival, wash away any sense of decency at the Amagi Inn, and learn about the power of friendship with Hanako. Later, we accept a special delivery of justice from our local package man. What's in the box? It's Nanako!
It's a war out there every day. You can't hide from it. You gotta play by the rules, play it cool, gotta laugh in the face of the sad disgrace.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined, as most of the time, by Matthew Van Zant.
Heyo! Great.
John Mystery Killer Brandon.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And in case you didn't know, this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. I think we have an announcement at the top of the app today.
Yep. Do we have an announcement?
What is it?
Well, we have 3 days left or something. I think
One day.
It's like
one day.
It's like one day.
One day.
But our patrons are day of listeners, so they're like, "Ooh, I got to get in on this. I got to get my votes in. It counts. Every vote matters. I could finally make Fable 2 win somehow."
Boy, Fable 2 getting buried is the real disappointment of this current vote.
So our $5.
Remember the good times of burp, burp, fart, fart, or whatever it was?
Wasn't it fart, fart, my butt, my butt?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. So, our $5 patrons, the voting tier, get to vote on our next game, and it is a hot vote. It's hot. Fable 3 and Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story are tied, basically.
That's inaccurate. It's Fallout 3, which is tied with Bowser's Inside Story.
Is that what I said?
You said Fable 3.
You said Fable.
Well, Fable, Fallout, both F games. I stand by what I said.
Kingdom Hearts 2 also in there. Obligatory Kingdom Hearts 2 shout out.
Sure.
We should probably know that this episode is being recorded a few days before this episode is released. So numbers not up to date.
Yeah. Numbers not even accurate right now.
As of the time of this recording, Bowser's Inside Story has taken a short lead.
Yeah.
But when this episode releases, you will have one more day to cast your vote and figure out what we play on our next series.
Do you want us to find out what Kingdom Hearts really is?
I hope not. I really hope
vote
not.
for Mario and Luigi and Bowser's Inside.
See what happens to the at the end of Fable 2?
What? Something happens to a Shut up.
Do you want us to learn the truth about your father's disappearance in Fallout 3?
Your
Nobody
very
cares
hot
about that.
father.
Or do you want to know what Bowser's guts are like?
Oh, kind of that one, actually. This is a good one because the one that I really don't want to win is buried right now, so.
Yeah, I feel like, and I know that we all have ones that we're least excited to play. I'd be okay with any of these, honestly. They're all good games.
Yeah, me too. I love me some Fallout.
I'll probably be in the mood for Kingdom Hearts again eventually. But at the moment, the thought of listening to them squeakily repeat themselves over and over again about how much friendship is the true power is... Already getting a lot of that right now.
And I'm a super baby fresh eyes about Kingdom Hearts 2. So maybe I'll love it.
Maybe you will.
Yeah, maybe you will. Maybe you'll like it. They tuned up the combat, right?
I put 100 hours into that monster.
I don't like that floaty combat.
It's an improvement on the first one, for sure.
Sora goes Super Saiyan now.
There's salty ice cream.
Sea salt ice cream?
Yummy.
Sure.
That's delicious. Hey, why don't we talk about something else? Like how we level up.
Wait, hold on. We should say that if you're not a patron and you still want to take advantage of this one day to get your vote in, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast and signing up at the $5 level.
That sounds like an amazing idea.
That sounds like a real level up, John.
You sound like a real level up.
Okay, now we can talk about how we leveled up this past week.
Speaking of leveling up, who's going to
go first?
Do it.
So I've ruined two things this week. The first is an Alfredo sauce that I was making, and I forgot to buy heavy cream, although they don't actually sell heavy cream in Canada, so they sell whipping cream, which is 33% milk fat. They will not sell heavy cream at 40% milk fat.
Why?
And I don't know. Is it like a health thing or something? I don't know. You just can't find it. I don't think it's illegal. I think it's just like people don't use it. But I wanted to cook with it.
In America, we have dedicated faucets for heavy cream.
Yeah.
I have definitely bought 40% cream in the United States at a supermarket, but here it's like, no.
And just chugged it straight down.
Oh, no. So I was making some Alfredo sauce. So I forgot to buy the 33% that you can get at the store here. So I went to the 7-Eleven and all they had was half and half. I was like, maybe I could thicken this up with some butter or something.
Oh boy.
So it wasn't thickening up. And then I was talking to my friend. He's like, oh, just add like 2 tablespoons of flour to like try and thicken it up. And it became like papier mâché. And was,
You should have added a little bit of cornstarch.
It was definitely like something Yukiko. It was inedible. It was so bad. And I put like grated $10 worth of Parmesan in there.
Oh, no.
It was ruined. But the other thing I ruined, that I really want to talk about today is, Vanessa's life.
He ruined my life.
Huh.
So why don't we slide into Vanessa's level up?
Yeah, my level up is that my life got ruined. My friend Johnny, he had been talking about this game, and I was like, that doesn't really sound like my kind of thing. But he kept saying, no, you'll really like it. So he did send it to me as a gift. And now that's all I do every day, all day, is play PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
A PUBG?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that actually happened during our last episode.
It's true.
That John sent me the gift of PUBG?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't realize.
I sent it right after we recorded, but I did mention it during the
Yeah.
episode.
Well,
I think you did.
Update, listeners, he did it, and my life is ruined. I very much like to play PUBG because I do like to sneak a snuck. Probably the best experiences are playing with my friends, though. I have this friend named Jim Banks, and he accidentally key mapped his layout so that accelerate and honk were the same buttons on a vehicle. And if anyone's familiar with PUBG, stealth is an element of it. However, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard as when we were riding our motorbike through the jungle with the horn constantly blaring, getting everyone to take pot shots at us. Like everyone. I think every other player we were playing with had the opportunity to fire their gun at us. I did also play by myself for a while, and I got a little ATV and was just driving it down the road, and every time I passed someone who was shooting at me, I'd just honk the horn like a friendly hello, burp, burp, and keep going.
What's an
That was
ATV?
fun. That's like an off-road vehicle kind of thing.
I think she means the buggy.
That's what I mean.
Oh, the dune buggy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And my best, most action star move ever was I parked my ATV outside a house, and I went in the house to loot it, and then I heard little pitter-patter footsteps outside, and there was someone outside, and they crouched by the corner of the house, right by my ATV, with their gun out. They were getting ready to shoot me when I came around that corner, but I was on the second story looking at them through a window, so I leapt out of the window in an explosion of shattering glass, and I did shoot them right in the back. Oh, I felt so cool.
Vanessa and I both are terrible at long range combat, but like the game's pretty forgiving if you have shotguns and other like really powerful weapons in close range. So if I get that DBS and someone's near me, I just like, I'm playing with a controller and I'm still getting lots of shooty fun. And Vanessa and I have had some great shooty fun moments, although it's usually like trying to figure out where people are and screaming at each other to figure out how to find the person that's coming after us. But that's the best part.
We need to work on our communication skills. I also have a tendency to get bossy, I have found, and I'm trying to work on that for when I play with Jim and Matt and John, for is not to just boss them and tell them what to do.
Although every
You
time
do that a lot. I do appreciate it, though, when you do it.
Well, thank you, Jim, but it's
and
not
usually her
everyone's
advice,
kink.
like, don't run after that person. No, don't go after the crate. You're gonna get us killed. Usually does get us killed.
Or like, Jim, shut the door.
Yes. Or, John, stop picking up all of the ammo next to all the guns when your
You were just
partners don't
complaining
have
about that the
any
other day.
guns. Well, it's like he knows we don't have weapons. He doesn't need that ammo, but he just takes it all. And then what do we have? A gun with no ammo. I guess I could just ask him to give it to me.
Yeah.
My favorite part is Vanessa almost always chooses spots where the entire game lands. And although in duos, landing at Dino Land is a doable thing. If you're playing in teams or squads or whatever, landing at Dino Land is a nightmare.
I love going to Dino
tough.
Land. I did find a roller coaster there, and I walked all the way to the top. John came with me, and he complained the whole time.
If
I
they
got
make those
vertigo.
trains run, why can't they make that roller coaster run?
I bet they could if they tried.
I want to ride the roller coaster.
And, yeah, we've just been having a great time. We also, yesterday, PUBG was broken because they were fixing it or making it better. So we couldn't play
Servers were
PUBG.
down for maintenance.
And, we played a game called Dead by Daylight instead.
We're so good at it. We're essentially pro Dead by Daylight gamers. Oh, and also, we have a new co-host.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. His name is Jared, and he's the perfect man.
Okay, so this is when it's happening? This is when you all relieve me of my duties as a co-host and replace me with some
Nah.
man I've
You
never
don't have
met?
to feel threatened by Jared.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk
This
to him.
is you.
I just
and
want
this
to talk
is
to
the
him.
man that we say don't worry about, and it's shining muscular Jared.
We should do that. We should do that meme of the guy walking with his girlfriend with his head turned, and the guys, all three of us, and then Matthew's the girlfriend, and Jared is the hot lady that walks by.
Would we put 3 heads on the one body?
Yeah.
Yes.
For those who don't know, Dead by Daylight is a 4-person survivor team versus a 1-person killer team. You can team up. However, Matt was not playing with us, so we kept being paired with a random 4th person who we would greet enthusiastically, and they would often become frightened and prematurely apologetic.
I think that happened 2 or 3 times yesterday where we're like, yeah, let's do this. This person's going to carry the team. And they're like, uh-oh.
Because I think it does match people of a similar skill level, so we're not going to get like attached to a pro gamer.
Yeah. Although, I mean, Jared, he was upper tier. He was an upper tier player.
He was a god level gamer.
He was like
I think
evading.
he saved each of us at least once. He evaded the killer multiple times. And he opened the door, and he could have gone through it himself at the end alone because I was on a meat hook. But he came back. He could have finished. He came back and lifted me
it's
off the meat
amazing.
hook and allowed me to escape.
And
And
in
then-
fact, the killer let Jared go because he respected him so much.
He did. The killer could see, like, he could feel it. This person deserves to make it out of here.
Now, Jared may be a milkshake frog or what? Duck. That's it. Milkshake duck or something. We don't know. But for now, we are all pro Jared.
Our enthusiasm is strictly contained to his ability to play Dead by Daylight.
Yes, and we do have a special chant. It
This is not
goes-
an endorsement of anything else he has done or said.
Yeah.
Our special chant, Matt, please pay attention and memorize the special chant. It goes like this. J, just save us. A, all of us. R, really save us. E, every one of us. D, don't die.
So, if you had to choose between a PUBG and a Dead by Daylight, so far, I know you haven't got a lot of DBD time in, which one do you prefer?
They both have their pros and cons. One of the cons of Dead by Daylight is I was so loud that I was asked to be more quiet by my housemate. And there was concern that I was waking the neighbors. I talked to them today. I did not wake them. Their baby blew a kiss at me, and I caught it and put it in my pocket. And it was adorable. He's about 2 years old, and he's the most gregarious 2-year-old. And every time I see him, he's the morst, and he's just like, mwah, mwah. But I am not allowed to touch him because of social distancing, which is very difficult because we live in a duplex right next to 2 cute babies.
And also because it's weird. It's like, you don't know these people or that child.
I mean, I know them pretty well. We've lived in a duplex with them for, 3 years now. But yeah, we don't have dinner together or anything like that. Why make it weird? Continuing with my story, what was I talking about? I prefer PUBG.
Okay.
For now.
I think there's definitely more variety to the PUBG gameplay than the constant stress of Dead by Daylight, but I do love Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight, like you start high stress and you're there the whole time.
Yeah.
What do you think of that tiny level? The only thing I like about that tiny level are the underground passages and the cargo ship.
Oh, the ship is so fun.
I managed to get fourth alive on the tiny level in solo mode by utilizing the underground passages. And I found one that was like flooded, and I had to swim through it.
Oh, that's cool.
And then when I came out, there was a whole bunch of gold bars. Like they'd stashed their gold bars down there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really neat.
Have you blown open the walls and like gone inside the vaults and stuff?
I tried to, but I'm not good at getting the sticky bomb to stick to things.
That's
so it usually
very
takes me
strange.
4 or 5 turns.
That's all it does is stick to things and blow
its
up.
job.
It's not an easy game, but I think I am getting better. I'm worried about becoming a filthy camper. And
I wouldn't worry about it.
People are going to be like, you filthy camper, you hid for 20 minutes behind a door and then shot me with a shotgun. It's like, that's how I like to play the game.
People do that, and it's very interesting that you say that because in my experience playing PUBG, I have spent a lot of time talking with my friends that I play with saying things like, who sits in a fucking house and makes no noise at all for 20 minutes waiting for somebody to drive up? Anyway, but I wouldn't worry about it, Vanessa, because at this point, they had to like put bots in the game. I think people are just thrilled to have real people to play with. Whether they're camping or not.
I do think being killed by a camper makes me better at the game. Like, every time I get killed by somebody just sitting in a room, I think, oh man, I should have paid more attention before I just barreled into that room. So, like, I think about it more.
That's
I
good.
just like to be a grenade into every room I walk into.
Yeah, I like to blow the doors open when it's just to, like, get a look inside first. Be like, I'm here. Like, you know I'm here. So, why fuck around? A DBS is good for blowing doors off. Hey, is anybody else going to level up?
Mine was going to be about Jared, and we already covered that.
You can shoot doors open?
What? You can't shoot them open, but you can break them apart by shooting them.
Yeah.
What?
You can blow them off. You kind of shoot the top, and the top will come off. Shoot the bottom, and the bottom will come off.
What?
Okay.
It happened to me. I was shooting someone and killing them dead, and then I accidentally also shot off half the door, and then it wasn't a good place to hide anymore.
I mean, it's good to if you want to keep an eye out a door.
It was really funny when Vanessa ran John over.
He got mad. John got legit salty.
I did get a little upset.
I mean, she almost got me with that one. I was in lag hell, and it was like, but still watching it happen. But it was like a slideshow, and I was like, "Why is she running over John?" I didn't even realize it was John. I mean, I didn't realize it was Vanessa. Like, if I had not been in slideshow mode, I would have killed Vanessa.
As she killed because Vanessa likes to drive a car up to people shooting and then stop. And then I got shot off the little dune buggy. And then I was like, Vanessa, I've knocked, don't run me over. And then she ran me over.
I immediately threw it into reverse.
You know, the game does have a lot of buttons. It has a lot of controls. I think that's part of the design philosophy of the game is they want everything to be like stupidly realistic. Like it's all, you got to flip your firing mode and you've got to pull the grenade out and then pull the pin and then you can change the aim. Like everything's, so it is, I've been playing it for years. I still will be like, why did I pull out my gun when I meant to reload my gun?
I think PUBG started as a Arma 3 mod before
it started as an Arma 3 mod.
Yeah.
People complain a lot about how like busted it is, and it is like a really busted game. Like there's just a ton of glitches, but like it's built on
That's kind of part of the charm though, like the bugginess of it.
I know. That's a real like 90s PC gamer thing. Like the charm of the buggy game. Like fuck it. Like yeah, it's broken and crazy shit happens. Sometimes you'll parachute into a building and just like on top of a building, and the building will only be half loaded, and you'll just fall through the floor and land in the second floor, and it's great.
When people's characters, after you shoot them, when they die and they just ragdoll all over the place. Or
the best.
John and I were shooting people who were trying to siege this little house we were in. John killed one and his body just like rolled down this hill forever, and it was hilarious.
It's got a real Trials like ragdoll body thing going on that I love.
Matt does have to get a new hard drive, I think, an SSD, because his current laptop is really mad at him. And it's the same laptop that Jim and Vanessa are using. It's the official Square Roots laptop.
I don't really know that that's the case. I don't know that that's going to make the difference. But we can talk about that off the air, to be honest with you. I did a lot of researching and checking things. And,
I have switched over to because I have an SSD and a physical hard drive.
I
switched
really
the SSD and it was a lot faster.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to talk to you about it, but let's save it for later. Hey.
Oh, I have something to say. Listeners, if all of this has sounded like a good fun time to you, check out Johnny Barnstorm on Twitch. That's usually where we stream our PUBG sessions too.
We had talked about like scheduling a game for like a weekend when we can all play and giving listeners notice actually on the show and not like a day before on Facebook or an hour before. But I guess now's not the time for that either. Hey, my level up will just be it's just a group level up because we've been doing 25 minutes. I say we. I say that Jim moves us on into the next segment of the show.
Oh, let's turn on the Midnight Channel.
The sound effect of the Midnight Channel, the hiss and the static. I didn't do any more social links, but if y'all want to talk about social links, go ahead. I actually don't. You get a chance to do a couple of weeks of social links here, and I was like, yeah, I did Death twice, because that one's really interesting, and I did some Naruto, but Vanessa talked about that last time. So why don't you talk about any ones we haven't covered?
I maxed out a bunch and definitely had a real string in like, where were we picking up here? Is it late November, I think? Early December.
End of November.
Of a real string of like breaking hearts, which was fun. Because I moved Yumi, Marie, Chie, Yukiko all up. I maxed all of them out. And they all kind of went the same way, where the person like, I mean, I said this last time, but they all kind of went the same way, where somebody was going through like a traumatic event or a life-changing situation. And then at the end of that was like, now, do you and I, should we,
Persona does not believe that men and women can be just friends.
Yeah.
Or maybe Persona believes that if a man befriends a woman, she owes him her love, unless he turns it down. Anyway, I mean, really, it's just a video game and they want to let you date everybody.
Except for those of the same sex.
Yeah, they were all kind of the same. They all kind of give you something, and their persona, like, have we talked about that? The persona, like, transforms.
Not really. Because I did get, like, a transformed, Yosuke's turned into Susanoo, and apparently there's a way to, like, do a level beyond that to, like, make them transform again.
Yeah, Jim has been talking about that. He says if you take them out one more time after the transformation, it'll transform again.
Yeah.
Jim's right.
I have not done that yet either. Yukiko's turns from, like, a pink kind of bird-shaped person to, like, a gold and white bird-shaped person. I mean, that's about it. Yeah, so I had a real string of breaking hearts here because I did end up deciding to enter into an intimate relationship with Rise. But I haven't finished her yet.
What, you haven't what?
I haven't maxed her out yet.
Yeah, you have.
That's it. Vanessa, you must have somebody you want to talk about.
Well, I do, but I actually think I need to sort of talk about this one interspersed with our main discussion of the episode, because if you have maxed this particular social link, you get some interesting options.
Huh.
Ooh.
All right. Well, then we will do that. It sounds like it's time for us to actually get into the main game. What happens here? Take it away, boys and girls. Take it away, y'all.
The town is covered in a spooky fog.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that fog.
Maybe evil. The music has changed. It's now like different, kind of sadder music, less peppy. But I'm into. What do you think of these new like walking around town songs?
I like
I don't
them.
mind it.
They're sort of bittersweet, and
yeah, I guess
people are
because
complaining in the street about feeling sick.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, I don't even know if I should be going outside. And like, you'll notice the streets are a lot less busy. Everyone's like rushing to school. Some people are wearing gas masks. It starts looking a bit like, remember at the end of Persona 3 when everything went nutso?
There is a lot of talk about gas masks in this month.
Mm-hmm. You gotta wear your mask.
Yeah.
You don't know what's in that fog.
You do have to wear your mask, people.
It also protects you against this spooky fog.
Yeah. So wear it. It does not give you COVID. You may have heard a particular congressperson saying that today. It's not true.
Oh, boy.
Fuck you, Louis Gohmert. I'm from Texas. I can say that.
Sure you can. I have no problem with that. So yeah, there's a big debate whether or not this fog is safe or if it's toxic, because it does seem unusually thick. And people are starting to really flip out about it. There's a lot of misinformation about the fog, which is interesting. A lot of stuff that happens in this episode seems very relevant.
That's a good point. One aside, so going back to what we were just talking about a minute ago, Vanessa, did you see those tweets today that a bunch of Republican staffers of congressmen were saying that they were banned from wearing masks to work?
People started writing into this journalist who was reporting on it and being like, yeah, we're told that we're not allowed to wear masks in the office to demonstrate how America is safe to open. And
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're really unhappy about it.
Wow. So, meanwhile, in spite of all this going on, you still have finals. You still gotta do your schoolwork. Even though they should have been closing down all of Inaba and just having a lockdown because of this weird, dangerous fog, they're still sending the students to school.
Yeah, no remote learning option in Inaba.
So the gang actually runs into each other in the middle of the deep fog, because Chie says it's so thick you can't even see your nose in front of you. And, meanwhile, Kanji, like, gets suspicious about something at this point and puts on his TV World glasses and is like, everybody, put on your glasses! Oh, shit. The glasses work. This is
it's like TV World fog.
Evil fog.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's leaking out of the TVs because somebody made a hole by keep going in and out all the time.
now someone was saying, and I can't remember, this is sometime during December, they saw the town being destroyed. One of the students mentions that a friend saw a town destroyed on the Midnight Channel, which is different. Mm-hmm. Kind of a weird observation. And at the last day of exams, they decide to hold a special headquarters meeting because things are just super weird. This is when you get a note from the game. The game's like, hey friend, shit's about to get real. You better save. You best save
Yeah,
here.
you best save your game, and don't overwrite this save, and just think about what you're going to do.
Yeah. So everyone meets at Juness to discuss the mystery fog. And they also start reviewing Namatame's case because it's in the paper. And the paper says, oh yeah, Namatame's confined to the hospital. But everyone's like, will we be able to convict him? Because he's saying all sorts of like things people will find crazy about TVs and stuff. And meanwhile, everyone suddenly turns real tough on crime. Like Kanji's like, oh, insanity isn't a defense. He should get the electric chair.
Kanji's tweeting, law and order!
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, whoa, Kanji, you might want to think about what you're saying for a second.
Well, I think that they're all feeling a little bit salty about the whole Nanako thing.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I totally understand. And meanwhile, you're like, hey, while we're here, I did promise Nanako a kotatsu. So why don't we go kotatsu shopping? It might help us feel better doing something nice for a friend who's in the hospital.
What's a kotatsu again?
I have
heater.
been looking up kotatsus online a lot these past few weeks.
Oh, it's a heated blanket,
It looks
right?
pretty awesome. It's like a table that's got a heating source underneath, and there you can attach basically like a duvet, like a comforter to the outside of it and sit underneath it. So like there's all this warmth under the blanket that's coming from this table.
Mm-hmm. It makes
It
your
looks
legs
super awesome.
real toasty while you're having dinner.
Yeah, and there's like super fancy one. It looks really comfy.
A guy I know ordered one from Japan because he wanted one so bad. Apparently it's really nice.
Ooh, that sounds very cozy.
It sounds like you would just have hot legs and a cool torso, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Imagine that the room's probably going to be like 60, 70 degrees. It's going to be cool, so it'll be nice. It's like getting into a hot bath or a warm bed.
Or like cuddling up like next to a fire.
Or a Johnny. I'm real warm.
It's so hot and summertime right now. Like all of this talk is just making me like physically recoil. I'm like, no.
I can't even like go outside right now.
I've been keeping my house so cold that I bought a scarf. Okay, hang on. I bought a soccer scarf for because a big game was last weekend. Whatever. Last weekend was the end of this season of the English Premier League. So I bought a Manchester United scarf to kind of harass my brother and my friends with. And then I kind of learned that it's super cozy, particularly because I keep my house so cold. I've been wearing it around. The kids keep stealing it and wearing it around the house. They're like, we love it. I may keep my house a little too cold.
Our wiring here doesn't really support. Our breakers will pop if I put in a AC unit. So I am at like our house gets to legit. It's probably going to get up to 85 in this room right now. 85, 90.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I think I would die.
I am sweaty as heck. Yeah, so I don't have, but I can brag about it now, but I will admit, if I could have air conditioning, I would have air conditioning. I just can't in this place, but rent's cheap. So it's only hot like 10 days a year.
I mean, my electric bill is outrageous because this AC is always blowing and because this house is very like poorly sealed.
Oh, same with this one.
But I'm still I just pay it because I'd rather just pay a huge electric bill and have an ice cold house.
Well, at least I have a fuel efficient car because I didn't get the dumb truck. And I take public transit a lot. So you got to pick and choose your carbon footprint, I guess.
Yeah, we're all destroying the world to a certain extent.
Oh, I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. It's time.
What?
Nothing lasts forever.
Oh. Anyway, so Teddy, meanwhile, is like, hey, I want to, like, in the middle of your shopping for Nanako, Teddy's like, I want to stay here. Can I
so much
stay
Teddy
here?
in this chunker.
I love Teddy. And, you can offer to be like, hey, Teddy, you can stay with us if you want. We care about you. And Teddy gets very choked up by that. And you can choose to get Nanako a gift. Your gift options include You could try getting her a video game. She doesn't seem super into games. That seems like a weird choice. Or a Jack Frost doll, which does seem more her style. She likes toys and dolls. Or a Rosette doll. And Rosette's like, yeah, that's not really meant for kids, which is a bit worrying.
Yeah. Who's that meant for?
Yeah. And they also threatened to make Nanako a cake, which just seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah. But Nanako did enjoy their omelets.
I still don't think it's
I
right.
don't think she enjoyed their omelets.
She says she did.
You think
And
she's
a
just
kid.
super nice?
They put ketchup on mac and cheese. Kids make weird choices.
Yeah.
So Adachi calls and says, guys, Nanako is getting worse. So you rush to the hospital. She's doing real bad. The rest of the hospital, meanwhile, is like flipping out about the fog and screaming at the staff. Don't scream at, essential workers. Don't scream at healthcare staff.
Please do not do that, especially if you don't have your mask on. I mean, don't do it at all. But respect them. And also, I'm sorry, I just have to say, don't go out to a party in the fog. And then, like, when you end up in the hospital, be like, oh, I didn't think I would get fog sick. It's like, let people who have to go in the fog, like these students, take the valuable hospital space. The ICU beds in Inaba Hospital are not for people who just had to have their fog beach party. That's all I have to say.
The other part that felt very current times is that they're screaming at the staff, you have a cure, don't you? You're just hiding it here. This is all a conspiracy. Like,
yeah,
oof,
I heard that current times is just a conspiracy to get us primed to accept being vaccinated with this vaccine that's eventually going to come out. And let me tell you, it's worked because I am primed to accept it. Stick it in me.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Do not save that sentence out of context.
So anyway, we were talking about Adachi.
Yeah. Okay. So she's doing real bad. Dojima also isn't doing well, but he has to he's in there and sort of hurt, but he gets taken back to his room because the nurse is like, you're just going to get yourself hurt again standing up here. You should be in bed, letting your internal injuries heal and your cuts heal.
And sweet, diligent Adachi is there every day at the hospital checking on them both.
Mm-hmm. He's like, it's gonna be a hard thing making the charges stick against Namatame. And, Kanji grabs him by the collar and is like, look, you want to see what happened? You want proof? I'll show you right now. Bring a TV. I will show you how this works. I'm like, yeah, that's what you should all be doing. Just show people this is how it works. See?
Yeah.
Look, right. Hand to the TV. Hand to the TV. See?
Yeah.
Look, we're not lying. And Adachi's like, oh, no, put Adachi down. And then they demand to know where this guy is, right? Oh, no, not yet.
Not yet. Unfortunately, the nurse comes out. I was like, is Nanako's family here? And I was like, no. Oh, no. Not little sweet Nanako. And so you go inside and you start comforting her. You're like, your big bro's here and Dojima will be here in just a second, but she dies.
Yeah, she just straight up dies.
She dies.
Mm-hmm.
And Dojima goes in there and sees his dead daughter. Is like, I'm just gonna have some words with Namatame real fast. And like, why are you loading that shotgun there, Dojima? It's like, don't worry about it. Me and Namatame just have to have a little chat. Just want to talk to him. I'm stealing a Matt stealing a Family Guy joke here.
No, just want to talk to him. 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 I 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 just want to shoot him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
So Dojima runs off and Adachi's like, oh, he'd probably run off to kill Namatame. And we're like, well, where's his hospital room? It's like, can't tell you that. That's official police business.
And they're like, Adachi, you stupid fuck, tell us where the room is. And he's like, okay.
So you follow Adachi and then you find Dojima out next to this guy's room, which does appear to be on the 4th floor, which we'll get back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dojima's outside the door and he's doing a little hop and mad dance. And Adachi's like, whoa, partner. Hey, buddy.
Is this when so Adachi tells you where the room is and then cutscene to the room and Adachi is already there. And I was like, how did he beat us there? Did he tell us and then run?
I guess he took the elevator and we took the stairs.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that must be it. So, you see, Adachi did bring Namatame here because it was the biggest hospital in the area, even though it is a super bad idea to have him in the same building as Dojima,
Nanako
probably.
and Dojima. Well, and as the little girl that he kidnapped.
Meanwhile, Teddy is talking to Nanako, and he's mad at himself that he couldn't do anything to save her, even though he's from the Shadow World and should know how.
Yeah, and he had promised to play with her, and he's like, I broke my promise because you're dead.
Mm-hmm. Cops do stop Dojima from murdering Namatame. Everyone's upset outside about Nanako's death, but they hear a crash inside the room, and it looks like Namatame was about to crawl to the open window.
Yeah, and it's just the kids there now, because the Adachi leads Dojima away with the cops who were there, and they just leave the kids outside the room being like, hey, don't go into this room of this guy who killed your little sister, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
I do think that maybe Namatame being brought was on purpose, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
I think you may be right.
Yeah, tying up some loose ends. Anyway.
He's crawling towards the window, but there's also a television there.
Yeah, but he's ignoring the TV for some reason.
Yeah.
But suddenly, lots of squawks and tuning noise. The Midnight Channel is on, and Namatame's shadow is on TV. And it's a bit different this time. He's there, it's the middle of the day, and he's gloating about the murders.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I could put everyone in the TV. I'm so cool. I'm TV man, putting people in the TV all the time.
But Namatame's like, stop, that's not true, stop. And he's flipping out and in a fetal position on the floor, covering his ears. Shadow Namatame's gloating, says that saving people is his mission.
I save people in the TV like on your DVR. Put them in the TV and TiVo them. They are saved forever until you run out of storage space.
Chie's like, let's kill him.
It is fucking DVR. He's trying to DVR these people.
And everyone's like, hey, should we do a murder?
Yeah, they're like, it seems like it's time for murder.
Yeah, this is crazy. First of all, I was not paying attention. Nanako died.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nanako died. How did we just ran past that?
I didn't want to talk about it because it's too much feels.
Vanessa has too many feels for it.
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
Jim?
I didn't expect her to stay dead.
Oh.
I thought
it just didn't feel like that kind of thing.
I thought maybe because I chose the wrong doll, she died, because I know there's a lot of important choices going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you chose the Rosette doll. She died.
I chose the Jack Frost doll.
John killed her.
This isn't the fucking Jack Frost.
Yeah, I also was not really sure if she was dead or not. And I did also think uh-oh, did I fuck up?
Yeah, because you had a couple of choices before this. And so and I knew that there was important choices happening, but then you suddenly get some real important choices.
Yeah, this is the biggest part of the thing. You had to it's time to kill Namatame, right, everybody?
Well,
Right? We all killed him?
I got the last one
Game over.
wrong.
What a good game.
I got 5 right in a row, but I didn't tell everyone to calm down, and so I got a bad ending. There are 3.
Ooh, what's the bad ending? What is that?
There are 3 bad endings here.
Mm-hmm. Ending 1. You can have lots of fun putting Namatame into the TV.
Yeah, what happens if you do that, Vanessa?
You just yeet him right into that TV, and that's it. Case closed.
Can I ask you guys a question? Mm-hmm. If Nanako would have stayed dead, would that have been an example of fridging?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although, I don't know. I feel, maybe.
I don't know that it motivates them to stop the killer any more than they're already motivated to stop the killer.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
It motivates
Although
them
they
to
do,
kill him, but then
it does
you
kind of in a
don't.
sense because when they think Nanako's dead, they straight up contemplate murder of Namatame. So it does elevate things a little bit.
But they cop out on it, so it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, bad ending 1 is you murder Namatame. Does that lead to like you going home on the train and just nothing happening?
I think so. I don't actually know for sure.
Oh, okay. Number 2, you walk out and let them do whatever they want.
Yeah, you can be like, you know what? I'm just going to go stand in this hall and you guys can stay in here and whatever happens, happens.
Here's the one I saw. I got the one where you don't murder Namatame, but you also don't convince your friends to find the truth. So then they kind of walk out and Nanako, she does get better, but she doesn't wake up.
Yeah, she
And
stays in the
then
hospital. The fog
Teddy
stays
leaves-
around.
Mm-hmm. Teddy decides to go off and find out who he is, so he disappears forever. And then you forward to March, and there's a cutscene of you getting on a train and going home.
Yeah,
or the
and
end of
they're
February.
like, too bad Nanako couldn't be here. We'll miss you. Goodbye. And you just train off into the distance.
So I did get that ending and had to redo all this. And this time I looked up the good choices.
Yeah, I also got that ending at first. I thought I could do it from memory, but I couldn't.
I wanted to try it on my own to see if I could figure out what to do.
It's really obsequious, though. I don't think it's possible to figure out on your own.
Obsequious?
I think I chose the wrong word.
It's like esoteric.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So there's wait a second here. We're missing something. Namatame's true feelings. Something's bothering me. Again, we're missing something. And calm the hell down.
Yeah, you can't actually give any specific answers because at one point they're like, what are we missing? And I was like, well, what he's afraid of, which seemed like the same answer as I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's not.
So everyone calms down and like, yeah, I guess we are missing something. And Naoto's like, hey, his motivation's kind of messed up. We haven't heard anything from Namatame's perspective on why he especially did those first 2 murders.
Yeah, and they're like, yes, we have. And he's like, no, we heard the shadow. We haven't actually heard him.
That means the team is a step closer to the truth, and a new Arcana starts. And this Arcana will come back every 2 minutes
Yeah, this is
to
crazy.
update.
I assume this is something that they jammed in to Golden. They were like, oh, we need one more Arcana.
No, this is
Yeah,
from
this is from the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah. Because you used to be the fool, like Arcana would advance with your team, and now it's Judgment.
And I think that's kind of cool because you were kind of treating it like a game before, but now you're taking it more seriously. And that's why it switches the 2.
Yeah. And then sweet little Adachi pops into the room and he's like, what the heck, guys? You can't be in here. Oh, heckin' man, I should have never told you where this room was. Oh, man. Adachi.
So you go outside in the hallway and you're like, okay, here's what we're missing. Why Namatame started killing. He has no motive. The only thing that they have connecting him to the first 2 cases, other than that he was dating Miss Yamano, is that there was a diary with Saki and Yamano's names in it. But they are interrupted by a nurse coming in. Cut to Teddy in the middle of a foggy highway. Teddy's still pouting. He's like, I couldn't do anything. Why does Teddy exist? And then suddenly Teddy remembers everything.
Ooh.
Cut back to Nanako's room. Nanako came around from death.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
got better.
This is the best because she fucking died. Like, the doctor
Yeah,
walked out of the
she's
room.
dead.
Yeah, there
You
was like
left
the
the room.
beep.
Yeah, she was gone.
Yeah.
They
called her time of death.
And they're like, yeah, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, and then she's alive, and they're like, "Oh yeah, didn't you know that resuscitation's a thing? You're an idiot." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, they were just like, well, she woke up. Sometimes that happens. Just like Vanessa said. And it's like, what are you talking about? She's dead.
Well, they do say, like Matt says, that they tried resuscitating her after you walked out. They were like, we'll give you some grieving time before we try.
And then we'll give it a shot.
Yeah. We'll let her friend talk to her alone before
Yeah.
we try to resuscitate her.
Yeah. Say your goodbyes, then we'll check if they're dead.
Yeah, it's like if you can pick the food up off the floor you dropped within 10 seconds, it doesn't really count, right? So
Right.
if they start resuscitating her eventually,
Jim,
it's fine.
I
don't eat food off the floor, by the way.
I was making burgers the other day outside and on these like concrete flagstones, and the burger dropped down. It's like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. Like scraped it with the
Oh no!
Jim, you can taste that grit. That grit does not get wiped off. I do not recommend eating ground burgers.
Well, you should eat ground burgers because that's what
true.
a hamburger is. It's the ground
Yeah.
beef or mincemeat, as we call it in the
Okay,
UK.
concrete burgers. I don't know what you'd call it.
Is-
Floor burgers.
Give me a gravel burger.
Just out of curiosity, is this the same flagstone that had boric acid poured all over it?
Oh man, I think we're about to have John's inside story.
Wow.
It's pet safe.
You're not a pet.
Maybe I am.
Oh, that's true.
So, Adachi says, hey, Dojima's gonna be okay. They took him back. His wounds opened up a little bit. And then he says something really weird to you. He's like, you're all alone at the house, right? Enjoy your freedom while you can. I was
Yeah.
like, what does that mean?
Well, I think he's just like, have a house party. Like,
Was he,
Dojima's
though?
in the hospital.
Was
Like,
he,
have a great
though?
time.
He sure seems interested in knowing you're alone at the house.
Well, he's your friend. He's
Okay.
worried about you.
So Namatame,
I should say that because I got Adachi to rank like 6 before this whole series of events started, I kept just leveling up Adachi's friendship at random points throughout this thing.
Oh,
And be
wow.
like, you can sense that Adachi cares about you. Adachi loves you.
I was like at rank
Wow.
5.
Adachi's your
before all
bestest
that.
friend. Like,
Huh. I must have missed one more Adachi point.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to cut back to Namatame feeling very upset about not being able to save everyone. He's like, and
I
the,
didn't save him.
and the guard's like, what? You're suddenly feeling remorse? What's going on here, buddy?
Like, I didn't save them.
Meanwhile, Yosuke can't find Teddy. He's trying to call Teddy, and it does start snowing, but it's not that pretty because of the fog.
Yeah. I like
And
that.
there's-
I really like Yosuke and Teddy's relationship. They really become like siblings, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have a real brothers thing going on. I like it. You check your messages, and one of the moments I like this in games when they do this. You check your messages, and then anyone that you've maxed out will have called you and left a message just making sure you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was really sweet. I really like that. I was like, Ayane was there, like, you okay, senpai? I just want to check up on you.
It's me, horny nurse. You okay?
She didn't call. I was
Oh,
very
no.
surprised. I thought if anyone's going to call, it's going to be horny nurse.
I think that
busy.
she, like, at the end of her social link, she goes to Africa or something like that.
No,
She's
no,
like,
she goes back to the other town where
Oh,
she was
okay.
working. There is one thing. We did get some pushback about trying to rehabilitate Miss Kashiwagi because she's, we shouldn't because she was so awful and violating, like, basic standards of decency and hitting on her students. And I agree. So our spin-off adventure game should be Hanako and the other teacher. Was it Miss Kawagimi or something?
Mm-hmm.
The one with too
makeup.
much makeup.
Yeah.
So that will be our spin-off adventure game. They
What
will
about
be best friends.
the Egyptianophile?
Oh yeah, she'd be great too. She could be like
Teacher.
you could recruit her too. She's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And Mr. Hosoi and his persona will be the puppet.
I think that we could pull tertiary characters from all the Persona games and put them together into like an ultimate Persona squad. It would be amazing.
Ultimate Persona Squad.
Could you bring that boy from Persona 1 who gets the Mara monster coming out of his body like a alien penis?
Absolutely.
That's,
Okay.
We'll have Hanako. We'll have Penis Boy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have probably that like Moon social link in Persona 5, like the kid who just wants to run his forum all day.
I never got that far.
He'll be like, "It's me, forum guy. I love you, Hanako."
Oh, that guy. The one who's like running the Phantom Thieves
Yeah,
fan site.
Mishima.
Right, okay. Could you get like weird nurse lady who experiments on you?
Yes, weird nurse. It's gonna be so good.
All right. So,
Oh,
meanwhile,
that guy who's like the gourmet king from Persona 3. Remember him?
Who was he? Oh, was he the French kid?
No, he was the moon. Oh, French kid for sure should be there. And
Right.
the
Oh, I
Gourmand
forgot about
King.
French Kid.
Everyone loves French kid.
C'est moi.
All right, so one more. You fall asleep that night. One more trip to the Velvet Room. Igor asks,
Do you think you'll be able to solve this mystery? It's hard to say where this car is going. Maybe to the future. Maybe to Target. I need to pick up a few things.
Mm-hmm.
The choice is up to you. But let's stop by Target.
Yep.
and
How do you
then,
think a mask works for Igor with his long, long nose?
oh, you
He
can put
wears one of those like apothecary.
Oh, of course.
masks that they
Ooh,
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, get
Those fit right in there.
Mm-hmm.
Chief Hazard to build him one of those old timey masks for him.
The Plague Doctor mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody wearing one of those at a Walmart recently.
Well, I know that
okay.
a friend of the show, Chief Hazard, makes them, and they're pretty rad. And he does wear them.
Yeah, his masks are super cool.
Yeah. So, I have two of his masks, but not Plague Doctor ones. So you get woken up by a doorbell. Yosuke is at the door. Teddy is missing and he cannot find him. So they all go back to the secret headquarters at Junes and review the facts. And they try to think about Namatame's motive for the first two killings, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
If he was crazy, the police would have noticed that. So that can't be it. There's something else.
Yeah, because they interviewed him right after the first disappearance and murder, and he seemed just normal.
So they go to the hospital to talk to Namatame, and Naoto has a plan. The cops get drawn away by the reports of a suspicious package in the lobby, which means Naoto did do a bomb threat.
Yeah, Naoto left a greasy package with some wires sticking out of it in the lobby of the hospital.
Hat boy with a hat. That's not a great look on you.
No, it's not. But, he has to do what he has to do.
Yeah. So then you start talking to Namatame and you get flashbacks. Like he tried out the Midnight Channel because he was so distraught over everything. I guess it had things with him and Mayumi they had ended because she'd been getting hounded by the press so much that they stopped seeing each other. So he's like living in depressed bachelor apartment. And on TV, on the Midnight Channel, he sees Mayumi and then tries to touch her because he misses her so much. And his hand goes through the TV. And then after she died, he's like, I think those two things are related.
Yeah. But he's still like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't real. Like, I was so crazed and full of grief and I didn't know what to do. So, but he tries it again. And he sees Saki on the Midnight Channel.
Ooh. And he does mention that both he and Mayumi were from Inaba, which is why he kind of knows his way around and knows people. And he sees Saki on TV and starts getting consumed with the idea of saving her. And he's like, well, I knew that she was the kid of those people at the liquor store, the brewery place. So he goes up to her and is like, hey, you need to be careful. Something's happening. And then
she's just like, whatever. I hate Yosuke.
So then again, he sees her again on TV that night and he tries calling her family. But no one answers and he knows there's something he has to do.
He comes up with a plan.
Next time he sees someone on the TV, he's going to save them.
He's going to save him. And next time happens to be Yukiko. And he does save her. He goes right over to that Inaba Inn, dressed up in his delivery man outfit. And he's like, bing bong, delivery. The delivery is me taking you and putting you in a TV where you'll be nice and safe.
Why would he assume that the TV world is safe?
He dumb.
Because, he is... I think he had a breakdown, and he just kind of tried to put two and two together. Like, he thought seeing them there meant that's where they were safe, and that's where they belong.
Yeah, that's where they're supposed to go.
I like the writing here, because it does you can sort of see why he put that together, like from his mental condition and what he interpreted the Midnight Channel to mean.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you, John, is it your assumption after hearing about Namatame being able to, go inside of the TV, do you think everybody can do this?
No, I think they have to have some connection to things.
Yeah, I feel like we
I don't
see
know,
somebody
though. Has
unable to
anyone
do it
else
at some
tried?
point. I think so.
Didn't Yosuke try and it didn't work
Yeah,
until
he
he
couldn't
got
do
brought
it.
in? Mm-hmm. So I guess there had to be, like, he was connected to her. So maybe because, I don't know why you and why can do it, but,
Maybe we'll learn as the game continues.
I guess so. So, they decide to go check up on Nanako.
Well, and also, once they start analyzing his story, it's like everyone that he put into the TV is now on their team, or is Nanako, and they were all safe. So when he, like, sees them together, he's like, it's great, I keep seeing you all around town together because I saved you all, and now you're together, and it's wonderful.
But there is something that doesn't add up then.
What's
Who wrote
that?
them notes?
Oh, yeah!
You don't ask him that, though. I kind of wish... Oh, no, do you ask them? Yeah, you do. And he's like, what notes? I know what you're talking
he's like,
about.
I don't know.
What
I
notes?
didn't- Yeah, what, stop saving people? I would never tell you that.
Hey, I think Adachi sent the notes to Namatame, and then Namatame sends them to you.
No.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
So who sent you
Nope.
the notes?
Well, we...
You didn't. You're supposed to know this.
Yeah, we're not
We'll
there
talk about
yet.
this in, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah. Don't
But
give away the
Namatame is the
reveal.
one that delivered the notes, right?
No.
No, they came in the mail.
No, someone put them in your mailbox,
Yeah.
and it had to be someone who wouldn't be suspicious being seen at your house. That's like
That's
a,
right.
a big plot point of how you figure out who the bad guy is the notes.
Oh, right. And someone who Nanako would have answered the door for.
Well, I mean, obviously, I had a tough time figuring out who the bad guy was here because some co-hosts wildly misled me last week.
Ooh.
Vanessa, can
do
you
such
take
a
over for
thing?
5 minutes while I feed Porky?
Sure. So let me
Thank you.
tell you what goes down. So first we check up on Nanako. She's like status quo, hanging out in bed like a Nanako. And we decide to just start from scratch and interview the whole town and find out what people saw and what people know. So we go around and interview the whole town. It takes forever, and it turns out that people don't know anything. Because they're like, hey, you see anything suspicious? And they're like, no. You see any, like, weird stranger guys? No. So, like, in addition to, like, Namatame, did you see anyone weird? No. There's nobody. No. So, what do we do with this information? We meet up at Aya, and we're gonna go over it. So here's what we know. We know that
What?
whoever's been sneaking... Catch up, Matt. We know.
Ketchup on a mat? That sounds delicious.
We know these facts. All right, it's time to figure out who sent the notes, who killed those initial 2 people.
Uh-huh.
This is it. Here's what we know. Whoever did it was not suspicious. It was someone everyone knew and could go anywhere in the city without arousing any suspicion at all. It's someone who knew Saki and Miss Yamano and could go to your house without anyone being like, who is that at Dojima's house? So we go outside and Naoto's like, okay, who do you think meets the criteria? And then we're presented with a list of every single person in the game. It's like Dojima, Yosuke, Nanako, Yukiko, like basically everyone who you have met with.
Almost every named character, yeah.
Yeah. This is where Matt did feel, I guess, misled last week.
I mean, let's just get to the point of it, which is that you have to name who it is, and who it is...
My sweet, beautiful, sensitive, bumbling, floppy-haired Adachi.
Fucking knew it was Adachi. I knew it was Adachi. I knew it from the beginning of the game. I said he creeped me out. He gave me a bad vibe. I had my eyes on him this whole game. I was sure it was Adachi. And then they're like, no, it's Namatame. And I was like, all right, whatever. Look, okay, they got me. It was a good red herring. I admit it.
Matthew, I've been wanting to ask you this since last week, but what is it just your gut that told you it was Adachi,
Of course,
or was
it's
there
just my
anything
gut
else?
because I'm a fucking brain genius, smart science wizard. Okay,
Matt uses his fucking dome piece, listeners.
this
I believe-
gut
Got it
is
way
big.
before we did.
You also, I think, implied that my having a crush on Adachi was a sure sign that he was
Yeah.
the villain of the game.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
He's such a
does
sketchy
go-
dude the whole game. Like early on, I was like, "Why does this guy want to hang out with kids? I don't trust this dude at all."
He just
That's
wants
true.
to
He's
hang
just-
out at
yeah,
Japanese
that's true.
Walmart
He's just hanging out with kids and,
and
probably
come
eating
over
grilled cheese with them.
and hang out and do magic
and
tricks.
he's really shitty to people if you do his social link.
Yeah, he's like, this old lady keeps trying to give me dinner. Fuck her. Don't do your
I mean, I
homework,
related
Monaco.
hard
That's
to
for
that.
suckers.
I related really hard to that, but I like understood that I was not supposed to relate to that.
So here is
And
Yeah,
definitely the point is that last week I had the trail thrown off by 3 over-eager to keep the truth hidden co-hosts.
We all but like all hugged each other when you got off the call last week. We're like, can you believe what Matt
In a
just said?
circle, jumping up and down with our arms around each other, being like, ha 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 ha.
it's true. It is
Who's
totally
afraid
true.
of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf.
So,
Yeah.
you go back inside and everyone starts like, hey, yeah, he totally could have used his position to hide evidence and information. And Yukiko's like, yeah, Adachi was at the inn and he said he was assigned to guard Ms. Yamano, which is a bit weird. And, also Adachi was scummy to women, Kanji found out, and Kanji's like, yeah, but I thought that was just cops, you know?
Yeah, it's just cop talk.
I mean, it is. Because
And Adachi also like kept pestering and questioning Saki.
Yeah, and this is my my favorite thing. Adachi throughout the whole game has been like the Ice-T on Law and Order. You know, like when they're plot stuck on Law and Order, Ice-T just comes into the scene and he's like, "Listen up, we have some new evidence." And every time we're stuck in the game, we're like sitting at Junez and Adachi walks by and he's like, "Oh golly, we have some new evidence. Oh boy, better keep this evidence secret. Golly gee, I'm just bumbling old Adachi." And Dojima's like, "Adachi, shut up." And he's like, "Whoopsie doodle, I just told them that we found a suspect. My bad." Adachi.
I love
I'll
that
tell
he's-
these kids
he's-
where the killer's, the guy that I'm trying to frame for these murders' room is, and then pretend like it was an
Yeah.
accident.
When they're
Yep.
struck with grief.
I'm going to put the guy who almost killed Dojima's daughter in a room near Dojima. Who knows what might happen there? Oopsie doodle.
Whoopsie. Classic bumbling Adachi.
So there's also a point where you find out, where you name Adachi from that big list, that you get a second option. You get an option B if you've maxed out the Adachi social link.
That's
like Vanessa
right.
has.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we talk about that now, since this is where...
Love to talk about option B. So at this point, you're like level 8 with Adachi, and or maybe level 9 even. And once they decide that Adachi is the primary suspect, you have the option of going and warning him that he is under suspicion. If you do,
What?
yeah, it's true. It's like, oh man. And you have like these flashbacks. It's like remembering all the good times you spent with Adachi, like shopping in the
Drawing
vegetable
flowers on
department,
Nanako's homework.
drawing flowers on homework, hanging out. So you can go warn Adachi. And if you do, he's like, "You idiot. You just betrayed all your friends to come warn me. You suck. What a dummy. Okay, well, we're like partners in crime now. You dumb idiot boy. I hate you." And then you max your link with him. You get the train ending as before with Nanako in the hospital. And
Oh, but you get a post-credit sequence and it's so cool.
yes. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I watched this on YouTube. So after the credits, you cut back to you on the train, and then you look at your phone and as if you're like suddenly realizing something. And right outside the midst of the dark fog, you see Adachi, and his hair is like looking real magical and evil. And then a cut to Adachi's face, and he just does a little smile.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, so that's a very interesting option of how to end the game. I guess if you love Adachi so much, you can't bear to have him be a suspect. I do love Adachi, but I also believe in justice. So,
And I love Nanako.
yeah, and I love Nanako. So I didn't take this option.
Yeah. So you go to the hospital to confront him. He says, "Oh yeah, we've already moved Namatame." And Dojima shows up and he's like, "What? Why'd you do that?" And because I wanted to talk to him some more because it doesn't work. His motive for the first two victims don't work. And then Adachi just starts getting all aggro. He's like, starts yelling at everybody. And then you have the option to start questioning him about Saki and Miss Yamano and how you knew them. And also about the letters. He's like, "Oh, what threatening letters? I don't know anything about letters." And Dojima's like, "Hey, I gave you those letters to put into evidence." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what happened to those?"
Yeah, he's like, "I forgot. I'm just a bumbling fool."
Yeah.
There was something in his ending about the letters too, where he says like he can use them to implicate Namatame.
Yeah, he's like, "Thanks for letting me know. I'll just go ahead and make sure that these are like in Namatame's stuff or something, and it'll all be good."
Yeah. So then Kanji's like straight up, "What, we think maybe you killed the first two," and but then he says the thing on Columbo that the bad guy says.
Yes.
And Columbo's like, "Oh, look at you." He says, "We all know Namatame's the one who put them all in."
Yeah, and they're like, "Put them all in what?" And he's like, "Goodbye."
Dojima's like, "What do you mean put them all in? Ooh, what a giveaway."
So Adachi just runs away, and they just stand there and watch him run away. And then they're like, "Well, he's gone. What can we do?"
And Naoto's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you also said like, oh wow, that settles it when we listed off all those names. You didn't even know those other people were kidnapped, right?"
Yeah, because they said, I think what they said exactly is like, everyone's on here, even the people we saved. And Adachi's like, "Well, that settles it."
Mm-hmm.
That would settle nothing unless he knew.
I do like that they planted that earlier. Like, I don't like it when games give you a mystery and then are like, introduce a different person on somewhere else that did it. Mm-hmm. Like, I like when games give you like evidence that where
what
you can
an
think
interesting
about it.
example of something games do.
Who knows what game I'm talking about?
Yeah, but yeah, they did give you all the clues, and if you're a Matt, you probably could have solved it unless Adachi had 3 of your closest friends trying to throw you off the trail.
I feel like a real Sherlock Jones.
So you run off to pursue Adachi. Dojima tries to, but he's too injured to join you. He got a big hole in his tum-tum, I guess. And, he runs off in a weird direction, not towards the exit. So, Dojima's like, "Well, we sealed off this hospital and no one saw him leave. So he's somewhere in this ward." And, they all say this standing next to a very large TV. They're like, "Well, who knows where he went?" And then nurse comes in, starts yelling at Dojima to go back to bed, or he'll never get better, and he'll be permanently injured. And before he leaves, he's like, "You gotta find Adachi." Which seems a little unprofessional, but, maybe I think he's kind of put stuff together as to what is happening.
Yeah, he has suspected the whole time that, something is going on with what their involvement with the case is.
Right. And I think he's now figured out that maybe this TV stuff is actually real. So they decide to check the TV world for Adachi tomorrow because, they got stuff tonight. They got stuff going on.
They always like to get a good night's sleep before they do something.
Mm-hmm. So you do have a dream about Teddy. He is in the car in the Velvet Room. He remembers he was a shadow who just wanted to be loved. And that's why he became nice. But he is just like all the other shadows. That's just kind of so that's what Teddy is. He be a random encounter.
Yeah, he's just a shadow. What a shocker.
We should probably kill him.
Yeah.
I still think that he could be the protagonist's shadow that took on a particular form instead of just a rando shadow. But that's just my fan
That implies
theory.
that the protagonist has any flaws whatsoever, and we know that he does not at all ever.
That's true.
So you all climb in the TV in Junes to pursue Adachi. It's super foggy in there, and Rise cannot detect anything. He can't find out where Adachi went. So you go back. So cut back to Teddy. He's back in the hospital. He's apologizing to Nana-chan, and she says that she came back because she heard Teddy's voice and her big bro, and some other people too. But then she falls asleep again after Teddy runs out to tell doctors that she was talking. Back in the TV world, Rise collapses. She is using too much of her power. She can't find Adachi. They return to their world. Rise is sad because her powers are useless, but then Teddy comes back. Rise hugs Teddy and puts her, I like the positioning. She's putting her boobs right in his face.
He's delighted.
He loves it. And he's like, I want to help everyone. And they talk about what they've realized about each other and that he's a shadow, but he's like, I think I haven't, everyone's like, well, I think you have an ego now. You're practically human. Yosuke's like, yeah, I mean, you're useless, but
he did a reverse persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than an ego developing a shadow, he's a shadow that developed an ego.
And everyone's like, yeah, you can't do anything by yourself, but none of us can. The only way we can do stuff is together.
And Teddy's like,
Oh, wait, hold on. Reversona.
reverse
Not reverse persona. Reversona.
Reversona! So they go into the TV and try to find Adachi. And they get to that room where they found the noose, the one that was covered in the posters of the Anka singer lady. And,
I got something to say.
sure.
So, at this point, you get a choice if you have maxed out Adachi's social link. You can either go and confront him all by yourself, or you can wait and go with your friends. And if you go by yourself, it's just you and Adachi having a conversation, and Adachi, fires his gun right at you and, grazes the side of your head almost with a bullet, that your hairs are hit by the bullet, and he's like, I'm not gonna miss next time. And you're like, Adachi, you're my best friend. And he's like, you decided to pursue a friendship with me. I was just hanging out at Junes, minding my own business, and you were like, let's be friends with Adachi. It was really weird, but that's your choice, I guess. So you can't blame me that I have betrayed you because you're the one who wanted to be friends in the first place.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. And then he's like, look, but because we're best friends or whatever, just don't come back. Don't come after me. You can go. If you come back here with your friends, I'm going to kill all of them, and you're going to watch all of your friends die. So just stay away. And you're like, I can't do that, Adachi. And he's like, I know you can't do that. And then it maxes out, and it's you feel like you don't have anything left to say to Adachi. And the whole time, Adachi's social link has been the jester, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it maxes out, and it transforms into the hunger social link.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The hunger arcana.
Mm-hmm. So the whole time, even his arcana has just been a fool in you. He's no jester. And I think that in the Japanese game, the sort of more literal translation is the lust arcana. Which...
Oh, yeah, because that's what's on the card, right?
Yeah. So that...
There's a naked woman and a bunch of, animals?
Yeah, something like that. So, it sort of... But, I think it's sort of meant to parallel the protagonist in some ways. The fool is kind of like a gesture. They're both, a little bit empty inside, but whereas the protagonist fills himself up with personas, Adachi is just full of craving and desire. And we'll talk about that now when we come back with our friends, and he talks about his motivations.
Yes, you come back, and Adachi's like, yeah, I pushed Mayumi in the TV, but it was an accident. I was just creeping on her, and she kind of fell into it.
He was so creeping on her because we get this like flashback thing, and he goes to the inn and he's like, hey, I'm here to like sort of protect you from everything that's been going on. I'm a cop. And she's like, okay. And then he goes, but it's not true, right? That you've been having an affair with this guy? And she's like, I just met you. Why would I tell you this? And he goes, well, I noticed you on the TV. Like, I saw you first and I noticed you, and you wouldn't ever betray me by having an affair with someone. She's like, what the fuck? And he's like, I thought you were different. I thought you were like a beautiful, pure woman for me to covet on the television, but it turns out you're just a dumb whore. And he's like menacing her and approaching her, and he's like, maybe I should show you what happens to dumb whores. And she's like backing up, and he shoves her right into the TV. And he's just like, ha ha, look at that. Wow. Well, okie dokes. And walks away.
People only seem mildly curious in this game about the fact that they can put their body through a TV screen. They're all just like, huh.
Well, I think he implies that he knew at that point that he could put his hand in, but he never imagined he could put a whole person in.
Yeah.
And then he talks about Saki, and he went to interview her because she found the body, and he's like, oh, you know, she's a high school girl, and she was pretty cute, so I decided to just interview her again, and brought her down to the police station, and put her in an interview room, and he was essentially trying to feel her up, and she's like, stop it, and he's like, oh, your girls are all the same, you're just rejecting me, take that. He chucks her into the TV, and he sticks his head in, and he yells like, maybe if you get on your knees and beg, I'll let you out. And then pulls his head out, and he's like, as if I would ever do that. He is an incel.
Ooh, I think you're right.
He is.
She's an incel. I'm so upset, and it's so creepy. He was an incel the whole time. He's just upset about women not being interested in him, and he thinks that if they're not into him, or if they have sex with other people, they deserve to go into a TV. Adachi is the worst person we have ever encountered in one of these video games.
I think so too. Like he's like a scary villain.
He is a scary villain.
Because it's like so believable.
He really doesn't see what he's doing is wrong, and he sees himself as the real victim. You don't know what I've been through. My life's been hard.
Yeah, he keeps referring to like a mistake he made in the city, on the city police force. So then he had to be reassigned to the country, and they never say what the mistake was, which I kind of like. You know,
I wonder if it's like something to do with a lady, or
probably, because he's like, and that's something that, you know, these guys will often do, is sort of talk in vague terms about something weird that happened, but they won't tell you the whole story. You know? It's just like, I was the victim of this really like egregious miscarriage of justice.
Right. And therefore that justifies all the horrible things I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then they suddenly realize, hey, this isn't the real Adachi. It's just a shadow. And Adachi's like, well, you're smart. You figured that one out pretty fast. But, you know, the world really likes me here. It's got the same goals as me. And this world and the real Inaba are going to become one.
Yeah, and he's like, nothing attacks me here. They love me here. I finally found my place. Oh, he also talks about how Namatame called the police station, and he was the one who happened to answer the phone. And Namatame's like tells him about the connection of the TV, and he's like, wow, if only there was somewhere safe you could put these people like that appear on the TV. And Namatame's like, but I could put my hand in, and Adachi's like, well, maybe you should put them in the TV.
And I get the feeling that let's say fate connected the two, because he's like, it's super weird that I happen to be the cop that he talked to.
Yeah.
Because this gave me this huge chance to keep this going.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like a Deus Ex Machina kind
Oh,
of thing.
I think there might be like a big eyeball that might have helped arrange this.
Yeah.
You can say there's somebody who's been watching out for Adachi. You know what I mean? He's going to turn into a giant eyeball.
It's not like there's some kind of god of fog arranging all this.
The god of the human psyche.
We're doing the will of humanity.
So, yeah, they decide, okay, we know where he is. We can pursue him. We're really tired. Let's go get some snooze and maybe catch up with some friends. Take a little while to talk to all your buddies, max out some social links.
Yeah, have a little break. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I reversed it. First, you come with your friends, and then you can go see him by yourself if you want to. I don't remember the exact order. But regardless, there is a time when you can go all by yourself into the TV and be like, hi, Adachi, it's me.
So
I'm sorry, you're an incel. Is Sheev here? What's the deal? Are we just playing some PUBG together?
It's time to introduce my young apprentice, Adachi.
So you've got this dungeon.
Feel the hatred of the Chads flow through you.
Adachi hated The Last Jedi and thought Rise of Skywalker was much better. Yes, Rose should be doing filing at the Rebel base.
Yes, Adachi.
Just as I planned.
Adachi knows that when a female character is inserted into a story, it's just SJW fan service.
You should read Adachi's 20-page post about Ghostbusters 2016.
Adachi, have you noticed the egregious way this game makes the girls as powerful fighters as the boys? It's just not biologically realistic.
Why are the girls ruining our culture with their boobs and their makeup?
I'm going to sue this woman in court because she was too hot on Twitch.
Adachi, if a woman arouses you, she owes you a monetary compensation or sex.
So, you go through the dungeon. It's sort of two dungeons. There's Magatsu Inaba and then Magatsu Mangala. It's like a big twist 'em up of Inaba with like street signs and garbage and buildings all twisted together. Into
And lots
roads.
of like police tape, caution, do not cross things.
You have to fall. There's one area where you have to like navigate to the end, without touching an enemy, but he still won't let you in. Then you have to, there's a hole that you can go through and you can go through that to the second dungeon and then complete that, kill a mini boss, and then go back and, fight and then go through to Adachi's lair.
Yeah, and he just kind of taunts you the whole way through. He's like, hey, jackasses, you suck. How about you don't touch a monster? That'll be fun. Oh, you did it? Whatever.
What happens if you do touch a monster?
I think you have to start over.
I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the last dungeon in Persona 4 regular?
No.
Oh, it's not?
Persona 4 regular.
No, it's not.
There's still another one after in regular Persona 4?
Is there a secret
Super
dungeon in Persona 4? Or is this the
Yes,
end of the
it's-
game?
It's a secret.
So this is the end of the game proper.
Unless you get the secret.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And in fact, it might only be New Game Plus material in the original Persona 4. I don't remember.
Oh, no, you're right. I think there is. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the secret, there's another secret boss, too.
Yeah.
In that version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
So you get through that as he's heckling you, telling like he just is like, nah, people like it. People want the fog. People like not knowing anything. People like being misled. This is what people want. Do you not want to do what people want? You want to make people unhappy? You dummy. You big jerk.
He's almost doing the like, debate me, you coward.
Exactly.
I mean, this is when Adachi decides to make Inaba great again, right? Like it's
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He keeps talking about Gamergate.
yeah.
He's like, she slept with 5 guys. You don't understand. 5 of them.
Whoa.
It's about ethics.
So you get to the end and you explain the plot to Adachi, you like run through exactly what he did. He pushed those first 2 girls in and then got Namatame to push the rest in and even though he knew that they could die and he's like, yeah, I totally did that. It was fun. Gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah, popped him right in that TV. It was hilarious.
And then he's like, hey, it's not my fault if they die. It's not me who kills them. You know, this world is generated by people's thoughts, right? And like
you're kind of guilty too.
yeah, if you think about it, it's people that are killing them, not old Adachi here.
Yeah,
Adachi's just having fun.
If you
It's
drive
society.
someone out into the woods and then just leave them in the middle of the woods, it's not your fault what happens to them there.
Then he says some stuff like, yeah, you know,
I just want to clarify, it is your fault what happens to them there. You do have a responsibility not to do that.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah,
don't take that as an endorsement.
Adachi's taking zero accountability for anything that he does.
Yeah. And then he says some ACAB stuff about like because
Yeah,
I
he
think
does.
Yukiko's like, well, don't you want justice? And that why you buy a game of coffee? He's like, nah, I just liked having a gun. Thought it was fun.
Yeah. It's like it's the only way you can legally carry a gun in Japan. So, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, most cops are like me. They just want to have the power and the fun. They don't care about
I
helping
can
people.
tell people what to do and carry around my gun and be a freaking big shot.
Yeah. And Naoto's like, you, sir, are an immature, egotistic brat.
And he's like, that's it.
No! And so then you fight him. And, it's not like a super hard fight. He's
No,
pretty
first
easy.
you just fight him. He's just standing there. He's got his gun and he's like, blam, 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 blam.
Well, no, he has a persona, right?
Yeah,
Don't they
he
remark
does have a
on it?
persona.
They're like, hey, he's got a persona. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, it's my persona. Isn't it cool?
I thought that was neat that he had his own persona.
Yeah, he's like, my
Yeah, that
persona
was
is
cool.
super cool. My persona is my magical reward for having to live in this shit town.
Yep. So you do, you do fight Adachi, then you beat him, you knock him down, and like he's like, well, I'm just gonna go Super Saiyan, right? You know, that's what I'm gonna do. And he like starts glowing and floating, and then suddenly it's not Adachi. It's someone that's like talking to them through the fog and says, my name is Ameno Sagiri.
Yeah, it's a real Super Saiyan bait and switch where it's like, he's gonna go Super Saiyan, but instead he turns into a giant eyeball.
Yeah.
So, just a note, Ameno Sagiri is a Japanese spirit of fog.
Oh.
A real, like what do you call that?
Deity?
Mythological, deity. Representing the heavens, that was mentioned in Kojiki, which I guess is some kind of spiritual literature. They, along with Kunino Sagiri, are the children of Ohoyo Matsumi and Kaya no Hime, who themselves are children of Izanagi and Izanami, who you might remember from the cave
Those are
story.
the two lovers that were parted, and then one of them went to the underworld and everything.
Aren't they also the ones that created, isn't Izanagi the one that created Japan?
He created like Japan and mankind, and then his wife Inazami is the one who invented death after she was like in the cave, and she's like, "Fuck you! I'm going to kill 100 or 1,000 people every day." And he's
Because
like,
he got grossed out by how she was rotting.
"Yeah," and he's like, "Well, that's really sad, but I'm just going to make 1,500 people be born every day, so you'll never wipe out humanity."
They explain this. This is the lecture that the guy gives when they go on that trip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oops, I've been talking about this for a long time, huh? Wink. And then it changes.
So the strength of Ameno Sagiri comes from chaos and falsehoods, which the TV propagates and people are drawn to, because people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear stuff that reflects their biases in life, which is another important point for our current political climate of ignoring true things for things that seem right and boost your ego.
Listen, one day the fog is just going to go away like a miracle. It's just going to go away.
That fog is really not that dangerous. I can breathe in the fog. Inaba's gonna be fine, bigger. Inaba's gonna be the best town after this fog.
When I see myself sitting at Junez at the beautiful, shining Junez table, meeting with Adachi and dictators, I just don't see me wearing a mask. I don't see it for me. The beautiful
Adachi's
Junez
a great
table.
guy.
Adachi's a great guy.
I wish him well.
Yeah, I wish him well.
This press conference is over. So the people on the Midnight Channel weren't actually that wasn't even their shadows. That was what people thought of them that's why after seeing them on TV, they started showing up. It's like the collective unconscious representation of how people are imagined, not how they really are.
Yeah. It's like when we all see Chris Hemsworth in Thor, and then we spend a lot of time thinking about him with his shirt off, and then he appears on the Midnight Channel with his shirt off being like, "Hi, I'm Chris Hemsworth. Look at how flat and nice my abs are. Don't you want to touch them?"
Which one's? That's Thor. I always mix him and the other one up, the Captain America.
I would like to mix him and the other one up, if you know what I mean.
Well, they are all your brother husbands. So.
They are. It's true.
So yeah, these are false images. These aren't. That's why, like, the one was talking about his real desire to kill all these people and get away with it.
But if that was what people thought of people, like, so that's what the general public thinks of Kanji, for instance.
Yeah, that Kanji's the one where it doesn't quite track.
Well, it doesn't track with Yukiko either. Like, the general public just assumed that she really didn't want to inherit the inn, and that was true.
Well, no,
it's kind of true for all of them.
With Yukiko, it was like that she was like a horny woman who just wanted to be married. And that's what, like, the presenter treated her as. So I could see that one working. And with, I don't know about Saki.
Well, I think that the first time they appear, when it's just the fuzzy outline, that's the public consciousness. And the times then after they're in the TV, when their shadow has solidified, that's when we see them talking about, like, having boobs or whatever.
Huh. Okay. So then you fight Ameno Sagiri, and I actually got killed. I got wiped out because he does a charge move, and so I guarded the first round, but then nothing happened. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try doing something else. But then he, like, attacked with 600 damage to everybody and killed my team.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You were also distracted because you were on a Discord call with us while we were playing PUBG and talking about how much fun we were having.
Pretty frustrated with that boss.
Yeah.
You were like, just let me finish and I can play PUBG too. And we're just like, we love this. We're having so much fun. This is the best day ever. It's like you're inside doing your homework, hearing your friends play outside.
Yeah. And then getting just, killed, and you couldn't save, and I got really mad about that, because, like, anytime after you go back to the second floor of that dungeon, you can't save anymore. So I was getting really pissed off that the game would make me do all this and then kill me. And then I couldn't save, and I couldn't quit. I was getting real mad. But I came back later, redid the last 4 floors of the dungeon, and
Jeez.
And then beat him, and that was fun.
What level were you, do you know?
83?
That's
I
high.
thought it was pretty easy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's high.
I didn't have to block a lot. I never had to pick anybody up. We just kind of smacked him again and again and again and again and again.
Did you get the focus attack that does like hundreds and hundreds of damage? Because after that, I guarded that, and then I was fine. Like, as long as you guard, it's no problem.
Yeah, the boss has a pretty set cadence. Isn't the first,
he missed, like, everybody
his immunities?
for me. Like, when he attacked, with that focus attack, he fucking missed all of us.
Oh, wow. For me, it does 600 damage to my main character and just wiped me out.
Did you have the Raku, the thing that increases your evasion rate on?
I didn't.
Did you?
I did not, though maybe because Rize, her level was high enough that I had all of her powers. So she actually Rize actually was really great in this battle and kept coming out and, like, giving me SP and making everybody's attack higher and raising everybody's defense and waiving getting rid of all of the status effects. It was pretty great.
Next time, or now I'm going to just go and finish up the Rize social link so I can get all those bonuses, because I feel like that helps a lot.
A lot of that was stuff that you just got from leveling her up.
Another benefit to, like, transforming your personas a second time after you max out the social link is some of them get the growth ability, like growth 3, that gives you like 12% of your SP back or whatever, or 12 SP back after each turn or whatever.
Yeah, that's Invigorate
Yeah.
or Regen or Cool Breeze does all those.
Which one is growth?
Growth is the one that grows you when you're not selected. It's not your active persona.
Oh, that's right.
Those are good too.
Yeah.
I have, everyone has Cool Breeze and Growth in my personas I'm making now. So I just had a harder time because I didn't level up Rise enough because she didn't get those extra combat abilities, basically.
Yeah. I feel like this game, more than other RPGs that we've played, this is like the combat in this game is like, it's buff, debuff.
Yeah.
All the time.
I kind of stopped using that about 3 or 4 dungeons ago. I stopped bothering and just started using Almighty.
When you get to like some of the later stuff, like it's an absolute necessity, I think.
I thought, towards the middle of the game, you really had to, particularly with some of those bosses and the hands, which, I love the combat in the Persona games. Who were your final teams? Like who and what and who were your best people? I'll start it. I had Yukiko, and her healing she had salvation, so she could just, cure everybody up and get rid of everything at once, which was great. And, Kanji had this, like, severe physical damage ability that was like a laser beam. What was it called? All these bosses, all the mini bosses and this boss, it just crushed them. It would do like quadruple the damage that anybody else could do.
Oh, is that like God's Hand or something?
It wasn't God's Hand. I don't know where
That's
I can't
a
remember
Chie
what it
ability.
is.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm missing. I got him just max, but now I have 2 months of social links, so I'll just max out the team and, before I do these dungeons.
I think I had Naoto in my party who like can get a dying spell in like almost every element.
2 months,
and also has light. She has all might, light and those light and dark spells that can do instant death. Like she's awesome.
I did eventually adopt the John strategy of having somebody with the highest light killer and Hama boost because it would just take out swaths of enemies.
Most random encounters will just get melted by it.
3 of the hands, whatever they're called in this one, regal hands or
hands.
glorious hands or something.
Yeah.
In the first turn of the combat with that Mahamon, and it was so fucking satisfying. Just give me that 30,000 EXP for that one turn.
So we beat the eye, and the eye is like, wow, well, I guess I was wrong, and people don't actually want the world covered in fog, because here you are, trying so hard not to have it, so, okay, my bad. Bye.
Whoopsies.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I thought everyone wanted to be, like, covered in lies, but turns out you wanted truth, so, I'll take that later. Adachi's like, leave me for dead. Just let the shadows do it. That's what you want to do. And we're like, nah, you're bringing you to the jail.
There is some talk about, isn't there some dialogue about what if we kill Adachi?
Yeah. Again, they want to kill Adachi.
I think that happens back in Junes, right? They're talking about like, or no, they call the cops, but they do say something like, we could just do it right here.
Yeah, we could just kill him right in Junes. Like, no one will know.
When I was there, they didn't mention. They talked about that with Namatame for sure, but they didn't mention with Adachi. They're like, we're bringing him back.
I think there's a line from like Kanji,
Oh, okay,
or something like that. Yeah.
And Dojima shows up, and he's like, I don't really know what's going on. And Adachi's like, it's fine, I'll confess, whatever.
Dojima sent the cops, and he, like, it seems like you meet the cops there, and they were expecting him. So I feel like Dojima kind of knew what was going on and had the police ready for you when you came out.
Yeah,
that was my impression.
Dojima's a better cop than maybe we've given him credit for.
Right. I feel like he had he doesn't want to talk about it, but he had some idea of what was happening. So you go outside, it's all sunny.
Hooray!
It's beautiful. Fast forward to
lifted.
Christmas Day.
Yay!
And Nanako is being released from the hospital, and Dojima is coming home too. Mm-hmm. And they decide to make a cake. Oh no.
Yeah, the girls are making a cake. However, Naoto is going to help.
Well, it is a piece of cake to make a pretty cake. What? It could end up crazy. You gotta
Hey,
be
is the
cooking by
game
the book.
implying here that now that Naoto is baking cakes with the girls, that she's like accepted her feminine side or whatever? Because that was my take.
Maybe he just doesn't want them to poison him.
Yeah, that could be it. Who knows? I mean,
What?
the game is all over the place with Naoto. You just have to choose for yourself.
Yep. Nanako loves the kotatsu. She's like, it's so toasty and warm, and I love it.
I'm under the kotatsu.
And Teddy's like, I made you this doll. And Nanako's like, wow. And Teddy's like, I made it from my own fur.
Gross.
Dojima's like, let me have that.
It's like, excuse me. What do you think Dojima thinks of Teddy? Because Teddy is sometimes dressed in his mascot uniform well outside of work hours.
And the mascot uniform can like open and close its eyes and wiggle its ears and things.
Flatten itself like
You
a
ever notice-
paper thin with
You ever notice
still
that
a
it can't open
human
its
inside
mouth
it.
though?
I did during those anime cutscenes. He like thinks his thoughts through his. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
He's like a Garfield.
Yeah. And Nanako's not home for good, though. She's just allowed to have a Christmas visit, we learn.
Oh no, I thought she said that she just has to go into the hospital for checkups.
Yeah. I mean, she still has to do some checkups and things.
Yeah, and same with Dojima. And the cake actually tastes good.
Amazing.
And everyone makes you promise. Well, even though I did say like, "Hey, I don't want to leave," everyone's like, "Well, yeah, but you got to go home. You got to go see your family."
Yeah,
But
Dojima's like, there are people waiting for you there, too, remember? Like your mom and your dad. Come on.
I haven't talked to them in a year. But you do agree to have a nice time with your friends until spring. So, sounds like the game's over.
Game's
right?
over.
Next
Yep.
game!
We did it!
Four.
Yay.
Time for four. Time for four.
Next time we will be playing through the end of the game, which is the day that you returns home. I would highly recommend listeners who are playing along just take a look at what you need to do on the last day of the game. You'll essentially be sent to say goodbye to everyone, and make sure you don't miss the super secret last day secret.
I did this. I missed the secret. The game ended, and then I was like, "Oh no, I need to reload my last save." And it was like a month before.
Oh no.
Can
It
you
was
post
the
a link to
worst.
that into the Facebook group so that that I can see it?
The link to the secret. I'll just
Yeah,
say it because it's not going to give away anything.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
that's
on
true.
your last day, you go around, you say goodbye to everyone. Then you have the option to go home. You want to click no, and you want to go to Junez and gather everyone up one last time.
Yeah, and the game will throw some message prompts at you that's like, "Oh, you don't really need to go to Juness. You've already said goodbye to everybody. Do you still want to go?"
And you're like,
and then
yes.
you need to choose yes.
Oh, the game's being a little sneaky there.
It is being a
Yeah.
little sneaky. It's that kind of like, we want you to buy the guides to the game sneaky that I don't like.
Okay, and I guess the Marie one just shows up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
How long are these
Yeah,
extra
you will-
dungeons?
The Marie one is fucking frustrating.
Oh,
So like, we can talk.
yeah,
well,
yeah.
like,
We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. It's fine.
Yeah, I think the Marie one is 9 or 10 floors, and I think it's the same for the other one.
I think they're a little shorter than what
they
we've been doing
are.
before.
It doesn't take long to get through them.
Okay.
So next time we will finish the game, but everyone, you still have like a day left to vote. So go vote if you haven't voted. We want to see your votes. Vanessa's mom's got to vote.
Vanessa's mom's got to vote.
She got to figure out what game she wants to hear about.
She knows what game she wants to hear about. She can't remember how to log on to the Patreon.
Oh, right, because, yeah, you don't have access to her account. Okay. And yeah, that is it. Squarely Against. Jim,
Oh, but we want to talk about December 24th, right?
what happens on December 24th?
Isn't that when we have a nice Christmas Eve date with someone?
No, because I'm past that. I think
Oh.
it's
Yeah, I'm past that too.
I think it's December
that's right.
25th probably that you have the date. Maybe it's a Christmas
Oh, I
it
date.
had
happens-
26.
It happens in New Year's in this
Oh,
game.
New
That's
Year's.
right.
It is New Year's in this game, yeah.
Even though, as we all know, in Japan, on December 24th, girls give chocolate to the boys they like.
Squarely Against. Jim.
I am roundly for the writing of like Namatame, or no, I'm sorry, of Adachi. I thought the reveal was really good the first time I played the game, and I thought the way they just made him, he's like an aloof, like evil dude, which is way more disturbing than the mustache twirling. Like, basically the god villain. Adachi's more interesting than the fog eyeball thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
So roundly for Adachi, yeah. What about you, John?
I am roundly for I think this section was really emotional and engaging. I was very sad about Nanako dying and thought I had done something wrong, but I was very glad that she was okay. I think Nanako is a very good girl that you want to protect. So it was nice to see her be okay and for Teddy to have a nice arc. And Teddy was not creepy during this chunker, which is good.
Yeah.
Vanessa, what are you
Yeah.
squarely against?
I'm roundly for the addition of the Adachi social link. I think it added an interesting element to the game, especially for those of us who have played it before and knew Adachi's deal going in. It was fun to see the little hints and clues that he gives when he is hanging out with you. Like he sometimes talks about his frustrations with his work and how he's not appreciated. And he talks about how his parents just wanted him to succeed in school and didn't really care about him or give him love and affection. So, Adachi has a lot going on, and I think it's interesting to have the villain be someone who you have a real relationship with. That said, I am squarely against Adachi.
Matt.
I am roundly for the final boss fight of the end of this game, since the game is over now. I liked the Adachi fight, and I liked the big eyeball. The music was great. I don't know what the track was called, but it was different. It was cool looking. The giant eye was neat and like colorful and like kind of trippy and fun. And it yelled at you with its like Darth Vader voice, like, ooh. This is what humanity wants. It was good. I had a good time. I enjoyed poking its eye out. It was fun. So that's what I'm roundly for. The final boss of the game. Hey, we've talked about the Patreon a lot this episode, so we will keep the plug quick, but we should mention it. We have 2 tiers. The $3 tier includes all of our bonus content. We have a Disco Elysian episode coming out in a few days. And
That will be out already.
Or it'll be out already, and that is featuring Dr. Steve Stone. Next month, we haven't decided yet. I'm hoping we can do something kind of goofy and short, but we're gonna talk about that. Betrayal at Condor, maybe. Kidding.
The 35-hour game?
I mean, I'm not going to play more than 2 hours of it, John. And of course, the $5 tier includes the ability to vote on our upcoming games. There's a vote going on right now. It ends tomorrow. You should go vote right this second. Hey, one thing we do at the end of the episode is read a list of our patrons as a big thank you because we love them, and we're going to do that now. Jim, who would you like to graciously thank for their support.
See, these are all getting so silly. I love it. We've got Brady A. Berman, and I went fishing, and all we caught was a boot, and it's peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Gray Code, James Hostetler, Vanessa's mom. The pen was mighty indeed. Teddy is a garbage monster, only good for nightmares. The Tower Arcana, Beaglesaurus, and the unpronounceable means good luck for. D. Jethro. David Green, Sexy Grandma's Boy Toy is. David Pascal. Joshua Bennett, Play Mother 3 or Quit Now Frauds. Wash in the Wind. I don't like Stan. He's coarse, rough, and irritating, and he gets everywhere. Sounds like Vanessa's mom.
Yeah, but
Wedge
you would
Coon,
never say that
Hales,
about Stan.
Saving Sid, Kevin Walter, Andy M, Andy Best, Shining Hopper, Matt is TJ Miller McMillerson III, Mitchell Jarman, Matthew Newland, Reddit is Harold Lauder, Vanessa's 7th Patreon reference name, Alexander Joking, Cake Ninja, Samu Mitchell, Adam Zimmerman, Teddy is a Little Creep, Nathan Poirot, and Wonder Swan.
We'd also like to thank Chris Ryan, John Hatboy, the boy with the hat, Brandon, Joseph,
Hey,
Alex,
that's not me.
Alex Bear Pun Dillard, PJ Ends, Ben Davis, Bobby Midkiff 2 Golden, Teddy is a persona non grata, agreed, Eunice's mom, Hexagon, Kedekai, as God made her. Mr. Millard, Justin Ham, Huxley Iguana, Every Day is Great at Your Square Roots, Andy Cressette, Brian Pitt, Andrew Leinart, Cameron Shoei, Ron, Jameson, Andre Rivera, Vanessa's scruffy, distant police dad, Sean Walsh, Ari Kopovara, Robert M. Pullum, Isaac Wright, Florian Jonas Kramer, Jake Dickerson, Stu Skeel, Jordan McNeil, Justin Rash, Ashley T., Patrick W. Bears, and Vanessa's 4th mom.
David Shook, Stephen Paget, Nawford to Bumpkins, Lyle of the Claro,
That
Chris
always ends up on
Wilder,
Vanessa's list.
I started that book but didn't finish it.
Paul Bursch, Sean, William Westgard, Dr. Fine, Say Everyone's Name, That One Guy, Erica Garby, Jason Timms, Chris Penyak, Devin Sloan, Ross Hartley, Gage Lacherte. Is that right?
Yeah, that was good. That was
thank
great.
you. Miguel Torres, Michael Crawford, Ethan G. Pearson, Bree Girth, Cowman Mosser, Chief Hazard Built Chie, Tyler Petty, Zachary Fire Ant Harbison, Randy Pierce, Dan, Stargent Spaghetti, Armin Hammer, Tracy, Ward Childress, Mostly Rational Person.
Tom, Seltzer is the best drink. Hudson Roth, CPT Awesome, Mary, Queen of Scoffs, Amanda Douglas, Race Jenkins, Still Just Cow, Robert T., Metal Gear Solid 1 in 2021, Ryan Miller, Sean Gonzalez, Christopher Highness, Matt Jorgensen, Andy Smith, George Brady, Jonathan Ellsworth, You Make Sulk Sad, Jared Collins, Robert J. Defendi, Tracy Tanoff, Anthony Gonzaba, Christian Go, Grayson, Benjamin Avner, Soy Soda Pop, Citrus C, Matthew Casterline, Aaron Bachman, Toxic Jock Syndrome, OMG, what is this game? Cyril, The Wolf, Sam Harrison, Jonathan Smith, Andrew, and Vanessa's Gold, Taco Bell, PS4.
Hooray.
All right, everyone, that'll do it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email that we can read on air, you can do so at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or you can tweet at us. We are at Square Roots Pod.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And thanks to Guild Studio for letting us use their cover of Time to Make History. Links to their Spotify and YouTube are in the show notes.
All right, everybody, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa. Bye. PUBG time?
PUBG.
It's a war out there every day. You can't hide from it. You gotta play by the rules, play it cool. Gotta laugh in the face of the sad disgrace. When your friends and foes look alike on the face of it, they miss their history, but they fight over a place in it. Yeah, they fight over a place in it.
seems like two of you are fighting in the show notes. What's going on there?
Nobody's fighting. John.
We're not fighting.
All right.
We're playing a text-based version of PUBG.